Hello, I'm here with Sarah Lilly, and she's an associate broker from the 5-Star Real Estate Lakeshore, and she is going to answer some questions with us today about what's going on in Holland's housing market. Hello, how are you doing, Sarah?
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So, what is going on in Holland's housing market right now?
We have had a very busy summer. Our inventory is quite low. If you look at the Holland-Zeeland area, our inventory is down to about 2.5 months of inventory. And that means if we had no new inventory coming onto the market, it would take us 2.5 months to sell what we do have, and that's considered quite low.
So, does that mean we need more houses on the market right now because the inventory is low?
Well, we have a shortage of inventory, so we would like to have more sellers selling homes, but we have a lot of buyers out there looking for them.
Excellent. So that means it's a good time to be selling a house, not necessarily buying a house. Is that correct?
Yes, we're starting to see prices increase because of the demand. So sellers, this is a really good time for them to sell because they're able to sell for more than they might have been able to sell for a year or two ago.
Fantastic. How long do you think this little real estate boom bubble is going to last here in Holland?
No, I guess that's the crystal ball to try to answer. But we're attributing the marketplace that we're having right now to a few things. One, our local economy is really strong. So we have a lot of people moving here. You know, I see clients moving here for jobs, but I also see clients moving here to retire because it's a wonderful place to retire as well as work. So our economy locally is very strong. Interest rates are lower than we would have expected them to be. If you had asked us last year what our interest rates would be right now, I think a lot of us would have guessed that they'd be somewhere in the 4%. We're now close to 3.5% for mortgage interest rates for a 30-year mortgage, so that's quite low. And then additionally, our rental prices are pretty high. So when, especially a first-time home buyer is looking at what they were paying for rent compared to what their mortgage payment is going to be, it still makes buying a very lucrative decision.
So it sounds like the Holland housing market is doing pretty fantastic.
Yes, it is very good. But it can be a struggle for buyers because buyers can feel like they can't quite get a home because there's not enough homes out there.
How many houses do you think are available on the market, approximately, percentage-wise?
It would depend on our price range. The price range that is moving the quickest is about that 100 to 200,000 range. So when I was pulling numbers for June, we had about 113 homes go pending that month, as well as about 122 homes closed that month. And houses stayed on the market for an average about 17 days in the month of June. So we were seeing them come off the market just as quickly as they were coming on the market. And many times homes were selling, especially in that price range, for multiple offers. And sometimes they may be going for over list price.
So I guess it's a time to be selling houses here in Holland.
If you have a house to sell, now is the time to consider selling it.
Excellent. Well, do you have any advice for interested homeowners who are thinking about selling at this time? Is there any advice you have for them?
Yeah, I would recommend that they find a trusted realtor to advise them as to what would be an appropriate purchase sales price for them, as well as the process of going through it. And then for buyers, I would say, it can be a frustrating time, and that's why you want to be really prepared. You want to meet with a mortgage lender ahead of time and have them approve you. What they're going to be able to do is basically give you a price range that works within your budget. So they might say you can look at homes up to $175,000, and that way you know what price range you're looking at. And when you find a house you're excited about, you can make an offer on it confidently because you've already spoken with the bank. And for the same thing for buyers, I recommend that they find a realtor that they trust because things are happening really fast right now, and they need a realtor who's going to be sending them listings right away and getting them in houses as they come on the market because they may only last for a few days. And so you want to get in there right away and make an offer if you like it.
So, as I know you said this a little bit earlier, do you think this is going to last very long here? I know it's the crystal ball. We'll never know. But
yeah,
any ideas?
I think things will continue to be strong in our area, but things might slow down a little bit. If interest rates went up a little bit or as housing prices go up, that differential between rental prices and mortgage payment is going to start to change as well. So that may slow the market a little bit, too, if suddenly it becomes more affordable to rent a home than it does to buy your first home. But I still think things are going to be strong around here for the foreseeable future unless we have a big change, whether it was political or more nationwide.
Sounds good to me. I had one last question for you. Does the season, summer versus fall or winter, does that affect people's decisions to buy houses and to move?
We certainly see our busiest time being Memorial Day to Labor Day. But in this area, I'd say we kind of slow down around the November, December time. But by, middle of January, getting into February, buyers are back out there because they kind of think, well, if I buy a house in February, I'll actually move into it in April, and then it will be spring by then. So our market does stay strong almost year-round with a little bit of that slow time in maybe November, December.
Well, thank you so much for your interview today. We really appreciate it because we've been wondering what's going on with this little mini housing boom we have going in Holland. So
I appreciate the opportunity, and if anybody has questions, I'm always happy.
Well, thank you very much. And you, of course, were with 5-Star Real Estate Lakeshore. So if they have more questions, they can come talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.